Let's see. I think if you have blankets, we'll do our ab stuff on a ramp. So I like to ramp up on blankets. You can use a yoga bolster or blocks, or you could do them on the floor when we get to that part. So have blankets handy and or blocks. And yeah, we'll see where this goes. And we'll do, as we usually do, drop into our breath, any position that's comfortable for you. We generally recommend the spine is a straight position, whether you're sitting or lying down or in child's pose. But everything else, arrange. And of course, when we drop into stillness and try to pay attention to something as pedestrian as breathing, chances are we'll get uncomfortable. So focus on the breath, but take note of the physical discomfort. Essentially, our yoga practice is the practice of getting more comfortable in our bodies, simply so we can sit. So we have this full hour to work with whatever we're finding right here. And if there's any psychological or emotional discomfort with bringing this attention to your body, to your breath. Well, that is also part of what we'll do for the next hour. Get more comfortable in our minds. Get familiar with our minds. Let's see if there's a way you can make this breathing enjoyable. So if that means sighing out the mouth or making humming sounds on your exhales, I want you to find some pleasure, even in the quiet and stillness. And we'll focus on our diaphragmatic breath. So continuing to breathe in any position. You can shift your focus down into the bottom ribs. A sense of the rib cage expanding out in its circle on the inhale. And softening back to center as you breathe out. You can squeeze back to center a little bit at the end of the exhale to squeeze old air out without tensing up. Be sure to open again as you breathe in. And then get even more specific on breathing the back low ribs out. And ease into that sensation. Often we don't want to shift our attention here for a lot of reasons, but one may be it's an attachment site for a lot of our postural muscles. So backache site. So bring a loving breath and attention and a gentle movement into this area. We'll keep breathing deeper, inhaling into back bottom ribs and relaxing the lowest abdominals right above your pelvis. Exhale, invite the low abdominals in without squeezing. A few pulses like that. Fan out back bottom ribs. Release low abdominals to your breath. And exhale, low abdominals draw in to move the breath out. If you're not in a sitting position, make your way up to sitting. We'll add spinal twist repetitions to the breath. Bring your hands onto your heart, one on top of the other. Then feel for the chest softening down under your hands. I know that feels paradoxical, but breathe the back of the spine up to lengthen spine rather than lifting through the chest, through the chin. Chin down, chest soft. Breathe the back bottom ribs out. Release the low belly and turn your chest to the right. Exhale, hug low abdominals in to bring you back to center. Inhale, back bottom ribs out. Turn left, relax low belly. Exhale, the low belly brings you back to a tall, centered spine. Go to each side 2 more times. We'll move into pelvic tilts. If it's okay for you to be on your hands and knees, come to all fours. You can do this down on your elbows if you prefer to be on elbows instead of hands. And if this gets uncomfortable being on your knees, then lie on your back. You'll do the pelvic tilts lying on your back with your knees bent, feet on floor. So a comfortable quadruped position with your hands or elbows right under your shoulders, your knees right under your hips. You can always move things out to the side a little bit to make more space for this. We're not bearing weight in the shoulders. Relax your head and neck. Breathe your chest up towards the ceiling. Feel for a lifting out of the shoulder joint itself. Now keep that lifted while your neck stays relaxed. Inhale, top rim of the sacrum, top edge of your pelvis, down towards the floor, caving the low back down. Relax your low belly. Exhale, top rim sacrum to the ceiling. Hug low belly in. Inhale, top rim sacrum to the floor. Exhale, top rim sacrum to the sky. Take about 3 more breaths like that, tilting just the pelvis up and down. Your heart is still lifted from the shoulders. Your neck is still relaxed and steady. And keep your breath going as you come up to find your ramp. And again, if you're using a bolster, or I like to make a bolster out of 2 blankets because it's the right size for my body. If you happen to have a surface like a wall, or I'm going to use the couch, something you can put your feet on. You can also make your bolster out of yoga blocks. It only has to fit your hips, so everyone in this room, I think your hips will fit on 1 yoga block, but we'll be tipping side to side, so 1 block might feel precarious anyway. So maybe make it wider than that. Now, if you are sitting up next to a wall, set up in such a way that when your hips are on the bolster, you can come down by leaning on a hip, ease your torso down and then rolling onto your back. It's a nice gentle way to come down if you ever have any back issues. You're close enough to the wall that your heels are against the wall with straightish legs. Your heels may not make it all the way down to the floor, and that's okay. Don't strain your back to get down to the floor, but I would like your feet to be flat on the wall when we get to that part of the psoas series. If you're not using the wall, that's fine. You'll do floating psoas. We've done that a bunch in here. First, oblique toner, bend your knees. Pick one foot up at a time until both feet are off the mat. Knees slightly towards your chest, aiming for a 90-degree angle from the thighs, from the torso. Put your hands on your waist. You might be able to palpate the hip bones and feel the low rib. And that distance between your hip bone and low rib will stay steady. As we move, your low ribs will try to help, your back will arch. I want you to keep the low ribs in. Breathe the back ribs to the floor. Relax your low belly. Exhale, hug low belly in. Breathe into back bottom ribs. Tip your knees to the left. The right hip will rise a little bit, but it's a small movement. Relax your low belly. And exhale, pull low belly in to come back to center. Breathe back bottom ribs to the floor. Tip right. Left hip rises. Exhale, use your low abdominals to bring your legs to center. Again, like that. Breathe into back bottom ribs. Tip knees to the left. Release the low abdominals. Exhale, hug low belly in. Center. Inhale, fan out back ribs as knees move right. Belly releases. Exhale, massage low belly in. Option to add an arm movement. If you like, interlace your hands and reach your knuckles to the sky. Let's breathe into back bottom ribs. Tip your knees to the right and lower left elbows to the floor. You can look to the left. Exhale, hug low abdominals. Inhale, back bottom ribs. Tip knees left. Lower the right elbow out to the side. Exhale, pull your belly in center. If you prefer not to use the arms, then keep your hands on your hips. That's fine. Do one or two more to each side. If you start to feel this in your back instead of your waist and your low belly, then you're done. That you don't want to go past that point. And when you are done, you can hug your knees to your chest or set your feet on the floor if that's more comfortable. All right. Psoas toner. Yeah, psoas toner next. So you might need to adjust a little closer to your wall if you're using the wall. Hold on to the right knee, set left foot on the floor, and then straighten the left leg out to press foot into wall. Breathe into right hip. Exhale, hug the right knee in. Now, do you want your heel on the wall, the toes pointing up to the ceiling, even the pinky toes? So you might not be able to see your toes, but err on feeling a little pigeon-toed with the toes in, the heel out, if that feels safe. Again, maybe your heel comes down to the floor wall corner, but not if you're straining your back to do so. That's not that important. Breathe back bottom ribs onto your yoga mat. Relax low belly. Exhale, hug low abdominals in. Take a couple breaths down into your pelvis, whichever parts of your hips feel tight. So we're doing deep compression on the right side, deep traction on left side. Lots to focus on. Each breath, pick one place to focus. Draw your left knee into your chest. Move nice and easy as you change sides. Right foot against the wall. Again, as your hip flexors change, switch from that deep contraction to deep compression and vice versa. Be mindful. Connective tissue can be a little cranky, so no need to hurry through this. Breathe the back bottom ribs down towards your yoga mat. Exhale, hug the low abdominals in. Continue to direct your breath down into your pelvis. There's a sense that your low belly and pelvic floor move in sync. Expanding on inhale, drawing back on exhale. And you search out the tight, stuck places in your hips, send breath into them. As if you're oiling them up, no expectations that suddenly things will free up. But simply becoming aware brings those areas into your healing space. All right. Bend your right knee in. Actually, set both feet on the floor. So transition how you like. One leg at a time until both feet are on the floor. Either pause right here for a moment, little tuck of tail as you feel the whole sacrum heavy on your ramp, or you can press your hips up into bridge. And if you're up in a bridge, you might move your ramp out of the way to lower all the way down to the ground, or you can lower back onto your bolster and then roll off to one side to come off. Do what feels safest for your back today. Now let's return to tabletop. We'll move into some cats and cows. I think we've done cat cow on the back before, so if you need to be on your back, you can stay on your back. You inhale, the arms up and the chest lifts. Exhale, hands down, tuck your tail. So same movement on the ground. Those of you in table, well, any form of cat cow, now that your whole spine's free to move, flush it with breath. We'll sync up in just a moment, but take a moment for you. Again, make your breathing fun. You can hum it out, sigh it out, roar it out at any point. And together we'll start to breathe in, breathing into cow tilt, heart forward, and tuck your toes. Let's add a foot stretch. Exhale, cat stretch, untuck your toes. Press tops of feet down. Inhale, cow tilt, tuck your toes. Exhale, cat stretch, untuck. Keep going like that. And if it's safe for your wrists, safe for your knees to add a little rock, you might inhale, cow tilt, arch forward a little bit so your heart moves forward. And exhale, cat stretch, hips back, maybe all the way back to child's pose. Maybe eventually, maybe not the first couple rounds. So option is shifts back and forth. And depending how your energy is today, this movement might be exciting for you. And you want to keep growing it up maybe into a downward dog. Well, then maybe after the next inhale cow tilt, you exhale back into downward facing. Then inhale cow. Exhale child's. Alternating down dogs with child's pose. Alternatively, setting back to child's pose might be a bit of a tease. You want to settle in. Well, go ahead. Take your time. Settle in and feel the free movement of your breath, even when the container is relatively still, fully supported by the earth below. About 4 more breaths in this meditation. Use them as you please. And then we'll all head to a still place for another 4 or 5 breaths. So whether you want to stay up in your down dog or back in your child's pose, or maybe you just need to rest in a shavasana, well, let's do that. Feel the echo of your movement. Whether it's the pound of your heart or any tingling in your muscles. All right, and we'll make our way up to standing down dogs. You can step your feet up to your hands or walk hands to feet. If you're in child's pose, you can visit down dog, but you don't have to. Simply tuck your toes and walk hands back to feet. And ease on up to standing. Let's take one of our blankets and roll it up for calf lengthening. And simplest, I'll take my traditional yoga blanket, the Mexican blanket. Oh, traditional here, I guess. And roll it up until it looks like a rolled up yoga mat. If you're using a towel, you might want to fold it in half. So it's like half the width of this, but thick enough. And that's fine. It just needs to fit 1 foot. Put your left foot on the roll. Start in Tadasana if possible with right foot next to left foot, right underneath your hips. Outside edges of feet parallel to each other. Shift the weight back into your heels. So shift your hips back. Stick your tail out a little bit until you feel as if the outer hip bones, or if you can see, outer hip bones line up over outer ankles. Good. And then keep the hips in that alignment as you breathe the back bottom ribs back over your sacrum. And then ramp the chin back. And feel for the lengthening in the left calf, as if those tissues in the back of the leg are releasing down to the floor. If it feels too taut, you're tensing up to balance, then step the right foot back. Or if you need more stretch, you're not feeling much of anything, you step the right foot forward. So find your appropriate foot position. Bring your balanced hips with you. And you can keep this real simple. Just focus on the left calf. And as the calf unwinds, you might even feel how the back of the knee, the hamstrings, and the pelvic floor, low back, seem to start to untangle. If you'd like to add an arm position, goal post your arms. So a sense of opening the chest, softening between the shoulders without necessarily lifting the chest, broadening. Exhale, release the arms down if they're up. Step off your roll. And put the roll in front of right foot. Right foot on the roll. Or ramp. They do make ramps. They look like sawed-off yoga blocks that you could buy. All right, starting your Tadasana so you can balance your pelvis, right hip, left hip, same height. Bring them back so you feel a little bit like you're in a butt out position as your outer hip bones line up over your outer ankles. And then we'll bring our torso back by breathing the back ribs back and then ramp the chin back of the neck long. Send your attention down into the lengthening right calf muscle and adjust the standing foot as needed. Step forward with the left foot if you want more pull on the right calves. And then back if you feel like you're tensing up. And so you can keep your pelvis steady as you step back and forth. And this time, if you want to add an arm position, serratus anterior activator, bring your arms forward, bend your elbows directly in front of your shoulders, palms turn toward your face, like you're holding a yoga block between your elbows. Keep it lifted. And exhale, soften the chest down. The chin down towards your collarbone. Breathe the back ribs out. Exhale, squeeze your invisible block a little and soften shoulders down. Exhale, relax your arms. Step off your roll. Move it aside. Half sun salute with catcher stance. Step your feet a little wider than your Tadasana, maybe as wide as your mat. And depending what's going on in your back, some bodies like to turn the toes out for this. If it feels safe to keep your feet parallel, then keep them parallel. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, catcher stance. Bring your hands or your elbows onto your thighs. Bend your knees. And then turn into a little ball. Tuck your tail, tuck your chin, and pull your belly in. Standing cat-cow, untuck. Inhale your heart forward, your tail rises. Exhale, curl back in. Return to standing. Inhale, arms to sky. Exhale, hands to heart. 2 more like that. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, catcher stance. Elbows on thighs or hands. Curl into a ball. Uncurl. Inhale, look forward, lift your butt. Exhale, curl back in. Inhale, rise. Exhale to your heart. One more time. Inhale. Exhale, catcher stance, curl in. Inhale, unfurl. Exhale, curl in. I recommend keep sending your tail down toward your heels to stand. Inhale, use the power of your legs. Exhale, Samastitihi. All right, step your feet back to hips width apart. Hands on your hips. We'll do walking hips. Step the right foot forward 1 stride. And make sure right hip, left hip are the same height. They're in the same horizontal plane. Hip bones, pubic bone, same vertical plane. And then inhale, shift your weight into your right foot. The right hip will rise. Exhale, shift back into the left heel. Left hip rises. And go back and forth like that a couple times. Shifting your weight from foot to foot and letting your hips dance side to side. So you feel the sides of the waist shorten to pick up your hip. But if you notice that you're twisting, your torso is turning, see if you can keep that steady. Keep your torso, your headlights straight ahead. All right, next exhale, step the left foot forward and keep going. And if you're feeling this, the muscle of the spine a lot, then keep the chest down, breathe the back ribs back, butt back a little bit. So it's these muscles along. There are spinal muscles that lift your hips, but also your obliques. All right, come back to center. Feet Tadasana. So if your Tadasana is feet hips width, you can leave them hips width. If you like to bring the feet together, that's fine. Utkatasana, sit back in your chair. Weight back in your heels, so your knees are over your ankles. Exhale, little twist, right arm back. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, left arm back. Pull your belly in. Inhale, reach the arms forward or all the way to the sky. Exhale, either forward fold or come into catcher stance if that's better for your back today. Half lift. Inhale, unfurl. Exhale, fold in. Inhale, rise to stand. Exhale to your heart. 2 more half suns with the twist. Inhale, sit back in chair. Exhale, right arm back, navel to spine. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, left arm back. If you feel this one a lot in your back, lean forward more. See if that helps. Inhale, arms forward or up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise. Exhale, Samastiti. One more time. Inhale, Utkatasana. Exhale, right arm back. Inhale. Exhale, other side. Inhale, arms forward or to the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Listen, transitioning into standing. Inhale to a half lift. Step your left foot back into a runner's lunge. Setting up for twisting warrior variation. Your hips can be fairly high for this twist. Left hand moves over to the edge of your mat, or you can put it on a block. Right hand to thigh or to sky. Twisting to the right. And feel for breathing the chest wide. And not so much the arm, but the chest, the collarbones. Right hand down. Moving into a warrior 2 footprint. Spin the back heel down. Now feel for tucking your tail towards the back heel to come into extended variation. Slide right forearm up onto your thigh and bring your left hand on your sacrum. If it's okay on your shoulder, see if you can just cup it with your palm, that bone in the middle of your pelvis. If you find it fits almost perfectly right into the palm, fingers down to tail. But if that hurts your shoulder, you can put your hand any position that does not hurt. Sacral pulses. Inhale, lift up out of your right shoulder, right armpit. Exhale, massage your sacrum down towards left heel. Release the head, neck towards the right shoulder. Inhale, lift your chest. Exhale, massage sacrum down. 2 more pulses like that. And return to runner's lunge, hands to either side of front foot. Feel for drawing your side hips in towards the center line. Hamstring stretches. I'll cue half splits, but you're welcome to do a pyramid variation where you don't set the knee down. If you're okay with setting back knee down, left knee down, And then shift your hips back. Maybe scooch the right foot forward so your hips line up right over the left knee for your hamstring stretch. Option Nomad's pose, where you press the ball, the right foot down to the floor, but lift and spread the toes. If you prefer to flex the foot, that's okay. Bend the right knee. Inhale. Now I know some of you craving down dog or some kind of vinyasa. You're welcome to step back or simply step the left foot forward into a fold. Whichever direction you go, take a big breath in and out. Runner's lunge, left foot up, left foot forward. Setting up for your twisting warrior. So if you like to use a block, maybe you have your block at the edge of your mat, right hand on ground or block, left arm to sky. If you're using the block, remember the block is smaller than you. Push your feet down so there's not that much weight on the block. Runner's lunge, left hand down. Transitioning into a warrior 2 footprint, lift your hips so you can spin the back heel down and bring left forearm onto thigh. Right hand on your sacrum. Oh, Cynthia, was that you with the black cat? Ha ha. I was wondering who she was talking to. Sacral pulses. Take a breath, get light in the heart. Feel for lifting out of your left shoulder. And exhale, massage your sacrum down towards the right heel. And take 3 more pulses like that. Breathing the heart forward, the spine forward. And rooting your pelvis down. A sense of making space between pelvis and the bones of the low spine. Return to your runner's lunge. Hands come down to frame the left foot. Take a moment to re-square the hips. Draw your left hip back. Pull your belly in. Hamstring stretch. Option half splits, lowering the back knee down and shifting your hips back, left foot forward. Left leg straight-ish. An option to press ball the foot down like you're pressing on the gas and spread the toes and foot bones. Inhale, bend the left knee. Exhale, step the right foot forward, fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise to stand. Exhale to your heart. Tree variation, standing on the left leg. Turn your right knee out to the side, and you might stay on the right toes and place your heel against your left ankle. And that can be your Vrikshasana. Starting either with hands in prayer, or you could put hands, palms on your body to get centered. Some of you will grow your tree. The right foot will climb somewhere up the left leg. I don't recommend putting any pressure on the knee joint. The higher your foot goes, the more you want to get a little pressure. Leg to foot, foot to leg, center. And an option to bring your hands into prayer, if they're not. Option to send your prayer hands skyward. And if you're feeling really steady, you can look up at them. Samastitihi, come back to center. Other side. Left knee out to the side. Hands somewhere in your body to get centered, and then if the left leg wants to climb up, this may or may not look like side one. It doesn't have to. Option, pressing palms together at the heart. Feel your heartbeat. Option, sending your hands skyward and or looking up. The higher your hands, the more you root down through the right foot. And exhale, come back to center. Samastitihi. Potted tree. If you have a yoga block, grab it. Stand on it. Put your left foot on your block. And part one, come onto the toes of the right foot, turn knee out to the side, and let the right foot heel rest against the left. And that might be your pose for now. Or maybe the right leg starts to climb up into any other expression. And closer, the more your hands are on the body or closer to body, the more centered you may feel. If you're feeling pretty stable, you can expand the arms. Maybe interlace hands behind you and open your chest. Carefully step off your block. Before you have time to think about it, put your right foot on the block. Come onto the toes of left foot. And again, find something to focus on that's not moving and commit to stay. If your tree grows into something else, well, that's cool. If your tree falls, you grow a new one right away. If you interlace on the first side, maybe you do the opposite interlace on this side. Maybe. And come back to center. Feel both feet on the earth. Just take a moment to feel that. If you're not at the front of your mat, come into your Tadasana at front of mat. Utkatasana. Inhale, sit back in chair. Half sun or full sun. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, option to step back for a plank chaturanga or step back into down dog or forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, downward dog, coming into warrior one prep. If you're in forward fold, step the left foot back. Down dog, step right foot forward. Back heel on the earth, toes angled out about 45 degrees, maybe only 30 degrees. I want your hips really square. Bring your hands onto your hips. Leave your torso hovering. Well, leave it on the right thigh to begin. Pull your right hip back. Pull both hips back. Roll shoulders back, tweeze elbows back. Scoop your belly button off your right thigh. Breathe your collarbones wide, but keep your face down towards the earth. You can turn your eyes forward, but keep the chin in. Deep bend in right knee. Lift and spread the right toes. Ground your heel so your butt is where the action's at. It's not in the knee. Left pinky blade pressing down firmly to support. Option to airplane your arms. Pyramid or revolved triangle. Hands down. Adjust the left foot maybe 2 inches closer to the right foot. And then come into your forward fold. Or inhale to a lengthening spine. Bring right hand to hip. And revolve to the right. hand down. Bring both hands to the inside of right leg, bend the right knee, and slide left leg all the way back into deep lunge. I'm cueing this with knee down. If you prefer to stay on the back toes with your knee up, that's fine. Hands to the inside of right foot. Arms tend to get tired in this pose. So if you want to lock your elbows out so you're not using your arm muscles, or find your ramp or your block so you can rest your elbows on something, or even just the left elbow, do that. 5 more breaths here. We'll continue to sink into the hip. And press back into your hands, or up to your hands if you came down. Either step back into downward dog, or you can step forward and fold into your legs. And take a big breath in and out. Warrior 1 prep. Left foot forward or step the right foot back. Leave your body on your left thigh, ground the back heel. Bring your hands to your hips. Feel for drawing the hips back and breathing your spine forward from your rooted hips. Good, shoulders back. Good, pull your belly in. Option to airplane the arms back. Pyramid and or revolved triangle. Hands down. Adjust the right foot slightly forward, so it's only like 2 or 3 feet behind the left for your forward fold. If you want to revolve your triangle, inhale to lift your chest, bring left hand to hip, and revolve to the left. Exhale, hands down to the inside of left foot. Bend your left knee. Slide the right leg all the way back to lower your knee down, unless you're choosing the knee up variation of deep lunge. Hands to the inside of left leg. Yes, you can move left foot aside to make more space. And over the next few breaths, send all your breath, all your attention down into your heavy hips. Once again, feeling for those either stuck or stagnant places. Start to sense some movement. Two more breaths. And then again, your choice of transition. You can either step back into downward dog or step forward to fold into your legs. Take a breath in and a breath out. Knee down lunge. Step right foot forward or left leg back. Lower knee down to the mat for twist. Option, left elbow across right thigh. If you prefer to do what we did earlier with left hand on ground or block, do that again. Now feel for drawing the right hip underneath you. Pull your belly button up off your thigh. Pigeon. Hands down. Lower your right shin down for pigeon or deer if you're doing a belly down version. Pigeon is where the left leg is straight back. Deer is where you can bend left knee out to the side. And that might give you space to open up the right knee a little more if you're feeling a lot of compression or your leg falls asleep right away. Don't tolerate that, by the way. If your leg falls asleep, get out of that pose. If you prefer to come onto your back, any expression of pigeon on the back will do. Like figure 4. Or you can literally do an upside down pigeon. All right. Then press back to your hands. If you came down, either stretch back into a down dog or come into a tabletop to cat-cow. We'll meet in twisting lunge, left foot forward, back knee down. Right elbow hooks the left thigh. And in this variation of twist, you got it, Donna. Really turning on that left hip by drawing it down, getting nice and firm in the pelvis. Pressing elbow into thigh will help it turn on. And then breathing your spine out of your rooted pelvis. So when I say pull belly off the thigh, it doesn't mean your belly has to move, but I want you to connect to your spine from the inside your abdominal cavity. And then we get to stretch it out in pigeon, hands down, lower the left shin down if you're coming into a supine, or I guess prone version, pigeon or deer. Or a supine version would be pigeon on the back, figure 4 on the back. And then we'll come to our seats. On your way there, prone pigeons might want to visit down dog or take a final cat-cow. Sitting either in a cross-legged seat right in front of left or half lotus, right foot on the left hip. Twist, left hand to right knee. Option to bind if you're in lotus. Exhale, release your twist and fold over your legs. Folding can always simply mean releasing the head neck. And root back through your tail. Hug your low abdominals in to pull you up to your seat. Change the cross of your legs, left foot in front or on top. Twist to your left, right hand to left knee. Use your right hand to help, Cynthia. Oh, you got it. Release your twist and bow over your legs. Root back through your tail. Hug your low belly in to ease yourself up. And come on down to your back. Actually, if you're not down yet, sit with your feet in front of you. Hold on to your thighs. We'll ease down to Shavasana. This way, this is optional. By curling the tail under, pulling your belly in, and starting to roll down nice and easy. Eventually, your hands will probably have to come to the floor to help you come down nice and smooth. A sense you're elongating the back of the spine onto the mat as you come down. Then optional, pressing feet into the floor, almost like you would in bridge, to lift a little and tuck your tailbone under a lot, and then roll your tucked sacrum back down, your heavy sacrum, and then straighten one leg out at a time into Shavasana. So low back feels really long. Certainly putting a bolster or something underneath your knees and or thighs will keep it long. As you rest, there's a sense that those parts of you that touch solid ground or solid matter are sinking, merging into the solid surface. Simultaneously, you might feel those parts of yourself in contact with the open air. Your edges dissolving, feeling just as spacious as the air around you. And of course, you might choose to continue to let go into that space. Stay there. If you're ready to come up, start by deepening your breath. And And keep your breath full as you wake your body up. We often start at fingers and toes. And move real gently as you bend a knee at a time to crawl your way up to sitting. We'll meet sitting with our palms together, those of us who sit. Press your thumbs into your sternum to lift your heart. Feel it beat. And from this place, we bow to each other. Namaste.